In today's video, we're going to be diving into the upcoming pattern, taking a look at multiple major storms moving around the central and eastern states. Some really deep cold air that could be on the way for the medium to long range here as we reach the 10th through kind of like the midpoint of November. Very exciting stuff for us cold and snow lovers. And speaking of snow, even some snowstorms popping up on this particular model run. I want you guys to take that with a grain of salt throughout this video. We will take a look at it, but yeah, definitely take it with a grain of salt. It's pretty rare for this time of year, especially in the fashion that we're going to see it today. But exciting to see because it is a sign that we're going to be seeing the models showing things like this much more coming up soon. So let's just take a look, and this is as of this kind of afternoon slash evening. This is going to be right around when this video is coming out. I'm going to switch this to Eastern time, so 4 p.m. This is an hour before this video will be coming out approximately. We do have a 979 millibar Hurricane Rafael there in the eastern Gulf of Mexico, and thankfully originally we expected this one to kind of move towards this Gulf of Mexico area here, Gulf Coast along the East Gulf Coast, but now we really have seen that option go away, and we expect this one to kind of meander there to the southwest corridor of that Gulf of Mexico and really pose little threat to the United States, thankfully. But we do see showers along this southeastern corridor. This is very good news for these areas that really need rainfall. We also have a pretty major storm happening across the south central states, bringing some thunderstorm activity to Oklahoma and Texas, which we've had a lot of thunderstorms and severe weather throughout this kind of fall time so far. It's a little shocking, especially, usually El Niños, we see a little more of that, and La Niña's a little less, but we've seen it nevertheless. We do see a lot of snowfall for New Mexico and Colorado ongoing as they're seeing monster amounts out there. Let's just take this towards tomorrow on Friday, November 8th, and what we're seeing here is a weakening tropical system here, now a 989 over the middle of the Gulf of Mexico by this point. We don't have a low pressure center, but if we were to kind of indicate where it would be right about there. And we do see this kind of rising thunderstorm action happening throughout Texas, Oklahoma, and Kansas there. And then on the kind of western side, we see this sinking kind of cold, snowy side of things for Colorado, New Mexico, even a little bit of the Texas panhandle and the Oklahoma panhandle there. So pretty surprising. Not too much activity outside of those two features. By the time we reach Saturday afternoon on November 9th, what we're seeing is a even further weakened tropical system, now a 998 there over more of the western Gulf of Mexico. This is all great news. We're losing about 10 millibars per day, so it's up about 20 millibars, a very, very far weakened storm from what it once was. Just tremendous news there. We do see thunderstorms and showers kind of flourishing to the north here for kind of the north plains, the northern plains, upper Midwest, and down through some of the more central Midwest and even into the deeper south like Arkansas and Louisiana. A little bit of a more minor storm system for the Northwest starting out, snowfall for the Rockies and Cascades there, and some rainfall along the more coastal areas of Washington. As we take this towards Sunday afternoon on November 10th now, we see that our tropical system is now 1004. Very great news, like I said, up about another 5, 6, 7 millibars. This is, if anything, maybe a weaker tropical storm, if not even more kind of broken up than even that. We do see showers and thunderstorms kind of reaching into the deeper south, the Mid-Atlantic and Ohio Valley, even stretching into the Northeast. Again, this is all great news for these areas that need it. We do see a weaker low over the Great Lakes, bringing some precipitation there. Some snow showers for the northern Rockies, and for the Pacific Northwest, a little bit of rainfall happening there. As we move towards Monday on November 11th, we see that it is not minor anymore over the Northwest. We see actually a pretty major storm system, 991 over southern Alberta here, as I kind of enable my pen here. We do see that there is snowfall for those Rocky Mountains and Cascades, some more rainfall in other areas. Overall, a pretty hefty storm system out there for the Northwest. The Southeast continues to see some showers and thunderstorms ongoing. Again, just continued great news there. Tuesday on November 12th, what we see is a continuation of just about that. We see snowfall and rainfall continuing for the Northwest. More snowfall for Tuesday than Monday. We do see a stronger storm system over central Canada there. And we do see a drier look here for a lot of the United States. Your jet stream is generally doing something like this. So a little bit of a soft ridge over the west, or over the east, better yet, and a little bit of a soft trough over much of the northwest there. As we keep going towards Wednesday, though, we see things getting a more intense look here, and this is when we're kind of starting to look at the potential for a more major cool down. Low pressure center is located over Wisconsin, and we do see a cold front starting underneath that, warm front out ahead, and this is allowing for much warmer air to kind of surge northward over the east coast. That'll be short-lived. We do see cold air sinking and meeting up with that cold front here, so that cold front is going to bring with it very cool temperatures compared to what you've been seeing, and a pushing northward warm boundary over the west. So this is going to be a key feature that is going to continue that cold air straight into the eastern states here. So let's take a look at Thursday and look at that hefty swinging cold front. 993 here over the Great Lakes. Cold front that's actually kind of, I would say, outpacing the low pressure center. And what we see is a more warm pattern out west. What this all does is actually causes an inverted trough here a little bit, where we probably are seeing some warmer temperatures in eastern Canada than we are seeing in, let's say, Indiana, Ohio, or Illinois here. So warmer up here than you're seeing down here, which is crazy stuff because of that inversion of the trough. We also see that there is a lot of cold air sinking southward, causing some snowfall to occur for a lot of your Great Lakes and portions of Canada there. And again, plenty of precipitation here along that eastern seaboard. As we keep going towards Friday afternoon on November 15th, we see this ridge is expanding for the west, and this trough is really, really intense for the eastern states. We're seeing much cooler temperatures than normal here over a lot of your mid-Atlantic, Ohio Valley, Great Lakes, and even the Northeast here. Snow showers are flying here for a lot of these areas, just to indicate how cool these temperatures really are. We actually see a nor'easter developing here offshore of New England, so heavy rainfall and even heavy snowfall for some of those mountainous areas occurring for New England there for the Friday, November 15th timeframe. This isn't the one that I want you to take with as much of a grain of salt. This one would be a little bit more realistic for the mid-November timeframe, so I don't want this to seem outlandish by any means. It definitely needs a lot to happen, but we have seen storms like this happen before during this time of year. Very strong nor'easter, kind of curves back with the jet stream back inland here, so it takes a track like this, and now it's kind of sitting between Vermont and Canada, bringing a lot of snowfall here to eastern Canada and the mountainous areas of New England. Very dry outside of that, though, so let's move towards Sunday timeframe, and this is when things get a little bit crazy. Alberta Clipper on the way. This is the one I want you to take with a grain of salt, especially it's beyond 10 days, but even the fashion and areas that see snowfall here is quite unseasonable, I would say. We have a low over Iowa here. We have warm air really surging northward for the west coast, and this is likely one of the key features that's allowing for this second surge of cold air to really dive southward, accompanied with a low pressure center there. And look, we have pretty cold temperatures in these areas already. What we see happen over the next few hours is going to be crazy, but let's take a look out west. Southwest here, seeing some precipitation, a little bit rare in a La Nina, but again, we've seen some things that are very La Nina-like. So California, Nevada, Utah seeing some precipitation, even snowfall for the Sierra Nevada there for Sunday on November 17th. But watch this dive southward. This is 1 a.m. on Monday, November 18th. Here is 7 a.m. And then by 1 p.m., this is what we're looking at. A 996 Alberta Clipper over northern West Virginia here, bringing snowfall to areas of Ohio, Pennsylvania, New York, northern New Jersey, even New York City in there. This is something that you would expect to start seeing being possible, December, maybe late December timeframe, and even more likely January and February. So take this with a grain of salt. I don't think this is going to occur, especially this exact way. But the cold might happen. We might have some low pressure along it, and somebody might see snowfall. But I really am skeptical that it would be these spots. So I just want to put that disclaimer out. We do see the Southwest continuing to see precipitation here. California, Nevada, Arizona, Utah, Colorado, Wyoming, Idaho, Oregon there as well. Snowfall in the higher elevations, rainfall in the lower elevations. We still have a pretty decent ridge here over the west with a really deep trough over the east. As we move towards Tuesday, we see that this actually becomes kind of a Miller B nor'easter, which is a classic look for, again, December, January, February, not necessarily for late November, mid to late November. 994 here, just near Long Island. This is bringing snowfall now to most of the Appalachian Mountain Range and then straight up into New England. Really an interesting look, but again, not really likely. And this ends up right around Cape Cod. This would bring monstrous amounts of snowfall to some of the Catskills, perhaps, into the Berkshires, and for a lot of even Connecticut, Vermont, New Hampshire, the coast of Maine there. That's kind of the trend that we're seeing here on this model. We see that kind of move out. It sticks with some of that cold air. We do have a storm system near the Dakotas bringing some snowfall to the northern plains and Rockies here, as we get this very winter-like pattern here late on this GFS model. And what we see happen is it wants to do another clipper here. We don't have as strong of a low pressure center, but there is some broad low pressure in here, some snowfall, and this wants to dive southward with more cold air. So watch, it wants to go in for round 2 apparently. Even more unlikely than one of those happening, like that first storm, would be 2 of them happening here in the upcoming pattern for sure. We get some snow showers for the mid-Atlantic and Northeast before that one kind of innocently moves out. The bigger picture here is that this GFS model continues to show a ridge in the west, trough in the east pattern with actually well below normal temperatures really persisting for the Midwest, Great Lakes, Ohio Valley, Mid-Atlantic, Northeast here throughout the kind of end portion of this model run. I mean, we are looking at freezing temperatures down through some of the northern southeast here and even into the mid-Atlantic. So very chilly there on this model. So again, total precipitation, we're seeing large amounts for the west, even the southwest here. So the entire west, a lot of these southern plains, and then a lot of the east here, including the Great Lakes. So many areas seeing above average precipitation. Let's look at it. We do see, again, the southwest, some of the northwest in here, the southern plains, Great Lakes into some of the eastern states in here. And really, I just don't know if I agree with these areas being below average because they see a lot of precipitation in that model run as well. So quickly, let's look at the snowfall. Again, disclaimer, a lot of this here I'm skeptical of, so keep that in mind, but we are seeing huge amounts for the Midwest, Great Lakes, Mid-Atlantic, Northeast here. I think the more likely is these mountainous areas in New England seeing some snowfall perhaps, or, you know, even these Great Lakes and upper Midwest areas, a lot less far-fetched than this pocket here, seeing this snowfall that they're seeing here. So we're going to go ahead and say, take that with a grain of salt to say the least, but we do see the Cascades, Rockies, and Sierra Nevada getting their fair share of multiple feet of snowfall. Keep in mind, I'm a little skeptical as well of the Sierra Nevada seeing large amounts of snowfall. That storm that does hit is later on in the model run and not very like the pattern that we're in. So I'm much more confident in the Cascades, Northern Rockies. That was an upside down check mark. I don't know why I did that. These Northern Rockies and then Southern Rockies seeing plenty. Maybe a little skeptical of the southwest area there. Now the temperature pattern here. As we move that to Eastern time, we see warm persisting in the east for a little while. We do get this mini cool down here for Saturday the 9th, and then the Sunday the 8th, or Sunday the 10th, we're seeing quite a bit along the East Coast as well, but that warmth continues through the early portion of next week, even through the midpoint. This cool down really starts to move down for Thursday here. Friday, look at this cool down. We're seeing dark blues and greens in here indicating far below average temperatures. Again, Saturday, Sunday, we're continuing to see this very cold air sit over top of these areas. Monday, Tuesday, it continues. And then straight through the end of the model run, here's Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I mean, we're looking at the end here, and we continue to see colder air for these areas and warmer out here. So if we look at the kind of entire model run here, or this will be the final 10 days of the model run, we do see plenty of cold persisting in these areas over that entire model run. Also for the West, we do see a lot of that on the earlier end, and then the central states may be getting the warmest because when the West is cold, the central's warm, and then when the East is cold, the West or the central states is warm as well. So they're kind of warm in both cases there. Very interesting. Here is the overall 7-day graphical tropical weather outlook, and we do see Hurricane Raphael there. We will take a look at that cone forecast in a minute. We do have this area here now down to a 20% chance from a 30% chance that we had yesterday. So this is decreasing. We sit at a 20% chance over the next 48 hours and 7 days. So definitely doubtful that we see anything come of that one, but there is a chance. It's a slim one, but there is a chance. Here's the cone forecast for Raphael again. Hurricane until about Saturday time frame, dropping to a tropical storm by Sunday, and then meandering southward here on this model as we move towards Monday, Tuesday time frame. Although we did see the GFS model kind of wanting to bring it northward while it's weakening, so we'll see what happens. Either way, weakening storm shouldn't be that big of an impactful system, thankfully, regardless of if it hits or not. So really just good news coming from Hurricane Raphael overall after this monstrous hurricane season and very impactful one that we've seen. This is one of the first pieces of good news that we've gotten really this overall hurricane season. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. We do upload every single day, so be sure to subscribe. You can even hit the bell icon for daily notifications when we upload so you never miss one. Be sure to like the video if you did enjoy it, leave a comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.